Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So, before I get into anything, let me just say, Garrett Wilson, I know of this man, and I made a mistake yesterday, but woo, y'all let me have it for forgetting about him. So, I will never forget him. I will never forget this man. Sheesh. Honest mistake, guys. But as we all know, the game has been canceled. And honestly, I mean, some people might, okay, we're happy, but I'm disappointed. Regardless, I wanted to see us play them. I wanted to see the game. This is what I wait every year to watch this game. It's normally the most watched college football game besides the playoff. The game is usually the most watched football game, college football game. So I'm disappointed. They're saying COVID, Michigan can't practice and everything. I'm hearing there might be about 40 players that have it between players, coaches, and staff. So it's 2020, y'all. So it is what it is. Now I'm hearing Ohio State is already trying to find another team to play, whether it's Maryland or Nebraska, to try to make sure they can get in the Big Ten championship game. And I don't blame them, and I don't blame the Big Ten for trying to get them in. I mean, the Big Ten wants them to be in the playoff. That's good for the Big Ten. So it is what it is. I mean, but I wanted to see the game. I don't matter if we got blew out or whatever. Regardless, I wanted to watch that game. And it's just sad that it's come to this, but, you know, health first and all that. So it is what it is. But we'll see. We will see if Michigan has another game. What's that end of the season game that they had where you play the other side of the division, whoever's ranked who's ever seeded the same as you on the other side of the division, you'll play. So we should have one more game. I'm not sure who the quarterback or anything will be, if it's gonna be Joe or what's the young kid's name, Dan. And I wanted to see him if he was going to be the starter or what, because for one game, he's a big dude and he runs it. Like, he's not a shy runner, kind of like Joe is. Like, this dude is like, okay, I'm about to run. Like, I'm not going to play around. I'm running. So I was, you know, I like to watch the team, even if they are garbage. Like, like I want to watch Michigan for the future and just to, you know, the season ain't long. Even if we have a regular, a full schedule, the season goes by so fast. Then it's like, you know, you back to waiting to hear news, spring practice. So I want to see them play regardless if they're trash or not. But it is what it is, y'all. I mean, we'll see how long we have to wait before we can actually see the last game. I'm not sure about bowl season, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we, 2 wins? Can you get in a bowl? Will they just let teams get in the bowls? I don't know what's going on. We're going to see about the news and everything like that and how this plays out. But in other news, I'm hearing that Harbaugh is getting extended. And it's got a little less money, I believe, and it's got stipulations that he has to hire assistant coaches that can get it done. So I'm hearing Don Brown should be gone. I mean, he has to be gone at this point. Like, come on. And I'm not sure about Gaddis, but I'm hearing that last year Gaddis didn't know how to do a lot of stuff, and they had to help him to basically get the offense going. This is just things I'm hearing. I'm not sure how true they are. But with that being said, that's no excuse, because Harbaugh, you hired him after a phone call. Like, you didn't go through his resume. You just knew he was the head coach at Bama, and the assistant offensive coordinator at Bama, and you just gave him a job. So ain't nobody to blame but yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you can't blame somebody for them being bad and you hired them. Like, you hired them. So it's up to you to fire them. You done hired them. They can't get it done. You can't just keep giving dudes chances. And that's what Harbaugh seems to do. Give a guy a chance. Okay, let me give him another chance. No, you don't have that much time in college to be given chance after chance after chance. You don't get it done. I don't care if it's a year, 2 years, you got to go. And if I don't see if I don't see it's going where I want it to in a year, you got to go. There's no time in college to be letting dudes stay around because you might have the right amount of talent on that team this year. And you can say, oh, well, next year. No, you can't say next year because guess what? You might have 5 seniors leaving the offense and 4 leaving the defense that are studs that you needed to maximize this year, not next year because he's in the NFL next year. So in college, you don't get this wait around. These dudes ain't on contract for 5 years and 4 years and 5 years and 6-year contracts. Some of these dudes you're going to get 3 years with, and you got to make the most of it. So whether you have to get your coaches, your play callers, your staff, whatever you have to do, you have to maximize it as quickly as possible to maximize the potential of these players. Simple as that. So if these dudes aren't getting it done, you don't have years to waste trying to hope that the coach can get it together. You got to get rid of him and get somebody in there as quickly as possible to maximize your team. You can't maximize your team when you got coaches that don't know what they're doing. It's just making your team that you might have a pretty good team, but the coaches aren't on the same page and don't know how to maximize the potential. Because we send a lot of dudes to the NFL and they look better in the NFL than they did in college. And these are later round picks. So dudes like that usually don't look better when they go to the NFL. I'm just going to be honest. But our coaches don't seem to know what they're doing. So when they actually get in the NFL and get good coaching, they look like studs. They look like the players that we thought they should have been at Michigan. So that's big. Get the players, develop them. So if Harbaugh is here for 3 years, Don Brown, Gaddis, I don't know who, but you got to get these. Don Brown has to go for sure. Gaddis, he can leave too. I'm sorry. If you like him, to me, if you say speed in space. I haven't seen speed in space but a couple games. Indiana last year, Michigan State last year, Minnesota. So out of 2 years, I saw speed in space 3 games basically. It just ain't gonna cut it. It's just not gonna cut it. So if you got to get a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, do it. But make sure that they do your homework before you hire them. Don't do like I did yesterday. Don't do like I did yesterday and missed over Garrett Wilson's stats. I see how Harbaugh be feeling now. Don't do what I did yesterday. Do your homework on these people that you're gonna hire. Like, cause it's honestly it's too serious for you to do that. Like, you ain't on. I'm on here making YouTube videos. I'm not the head coach of Michigan. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do your homework and really go into these people that you hire, go into their resume like deep. Is this a right fit for what I want to do? You should have a mindset of how you want your defense to play. Even if you're not coaching the defense, you should have a mindset of what you want your defense to be like. Do you want them to bend but don't break? Or do you want just a hard-nosed defense that can just shut people down? Like, what do you want? You want to be able to stop the run. I don't want people to run on us at all. Like, what do you want on defense? What do you want on offense? Get the coaches that can do that and have a proven track record of doing it on the big-time stage against big-time teams. I don't care if you come from a small school, but if you come from a small school, let me see what you did when you played big-time teams. Let me see how you coached against big-time teams. That's going to tell something. But just, who's the top coordinator? Okay, hire him. He coaches at Alabama, hire him. That ain't going to do it. That ain't going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it. Leave no stone unturned. Do your homework, be diligent, and find the right guys to start developing these players. Because the development is what's killing us. We get dudes that it seems like they peak at their sophomore year. And just never get better. They still play like a sophomore. We have players that are seniors and they play like sophomores a lot of the time. You can't count on them in big games to make plays. You can't count on them in big games to be disciplined. You can't count on them in big games to make them the plays that you need. You need a big play. The play is there for one of your leaders, dudes that you have captain, and they dropping the ball. They missing the tackle. They jumping off sides. They lined up off sides. They doing late hits. You got to get it together. You got to get it together. You came close in 2016 with Hoke's players. Can you do that again, but this time get it done? Maximize it all the way. Because everybody loves these are people that still like Harbaugh or whatever. They like to bring up, Brian Kelly's been at Notre Dame. He's had some bad years. Brian Kelly has been to a BCS championship game and has also went to the playoff. That's accomplishing things. That buys you more time. You go 12-1, you're going to get some more years. You're going to get time to have bad seasons. You go to a playoff, you're going to get more years. That's how it works. You have a great season where you lose one game or make the playoffs, do something like that, you get more years. But when all you're doing is 10-3, 9-3, 10-3, 10-3, 8-5, 2 and I don't even know. You ain't people looking like you don't deserve no more years, bro. Because when you did have the chance to win the Big Ten, to beat Ohio State, you failed to get it done. When you have the chance and the potential to play with them, you didn't maximize it. You didn't get it done. Whatever you want. It is what it is. Wilton Speight, 2016, he played horrible, kept OSU in the game. 2 interceptions and a fumble. Now, can you get another team to that point to where you're pretty much dominating OSU? And can you finish it? Can you win a big game? Because they got the coaches. They got the coaches and the staff to outcoach you. I ain't even mentioned the players. We know they got the players. But they got the coaches and the staff to dominate you, to outcoach you. Can you outcoach them? Honestly, I don't think Harbaugh can outcoach Ryan Day. I don't think he can. We know he couldn't outcoach Urban. So it is what it is. When you get the chance to do these things, you have to maximize it. If you don't maximize it, you don't deserve more time. He's going to get 3 more years. So let's see if he can build up one of these teams to maximize the potential, beat our rivals, and make it through the Big Ten with 1 loss. Make it to the Big Ten championship. Make it to the Big Ten championship. Because if you make it there, you're almost guaranteed to win it. Because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Wisconsin or somebody like that we've already played and probably had to beat to get to that point. So, can you get to the Big Ten title game? Which to get there, you're gonna have to beat Ohio State. That's just the facts. If you feel like you can't beat them from the coaching standpoint, from the recruiting standpoint, from the process standpoint, don't nobody want to hear about the process when you've been here for 6 years? 5, 6 years, and you ain't maximized on none of these teams? Don't nobody want to hear about the process, because the process don't take that long if you implementing it right and developing dudes. But it showed over time that your development isn't there. So don't nobody want to hear about the process. Process me some wins. Process me a dub against Ohio State. Process me beating bad Michigan State teams. Process me beating Wisconsin consistently, not every other year. Process me beating Penn State consistently, not every other year. Process me a quarterback that looks like he's the truth against good talent, against a good defense. Process me that. Nobody want to hear about no process when you've been here all this time and you ain't maximized nothing. We haven't even seen a good or great quarterback. You can say Shea Patterson. Shea Patterson was slightly above average. Shea Patterson was a good quarterback if he had a strong running game. Shea Patterson was at his best as a game manager. That's just a fact. When he had Karan Higdon rushing for 1,300 yards. That's when he was at his best. A good and great quarterback is not a game manager, because you're going to need him to win some games when the run gets stopped. You're going to need him to win some games with his arm, with no running back, with no running game. Get a quarterback. Develop him. I just need to see these dudes get better. You shouldn't have, when a player is a senior, they should be fundamentally sound. They should know the defense, know the offense inside and out, and make plays. When big games come, you should be able to lean on them. It just doesn't happen. People that have been watching me, they know I've went on countless rants against big time teams, and are normally when I'm on somebody, it's a junior, it's a senior, somebody that's been on the team for 3 and 4 years, sometimes 5 years. Come on. Development. Develop these dudes. Because you know they got some type of talent because they're still going to the NFL. The NFL sees something in them. The same thing we saw when they first got on campus, and then they peaked as a sophomore and never got any better. Why aren't they getting better? That's on you, Harbaugh. You got your time. Show us you ain't wasting our time. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.